Welcome back to the channel, guys. So I've just noticed that Dream Theater put out another teaser track single called A Broken Man. So I've got a couple of minutes here before I have to pick up one of my kids from daycare. So we're just going to take a look at, well, take a listen to the track and form some opinions on it, I guess, because that's what we do here on the internet. Everyone's got an opinion, just like everyone's got an arsehole. So yeah, let's get into it. Right off the bat, I'm going to say I've heard it once before, not the whole way through, but probably about 70% of it. And I definitely like this a lot more than Night Terror in a lot of ways. So let's get started, and I'll try and explain why. Okay, so like right off the bat, I would say that the intro is much more, it's kind of really like, it's got an intensity, it's got a lot of dynamics, that kind of like pick scraping sound that Petrucci is doing on the guitar. There's a kind of ferocity to the tempo of it, and Portnoy's double bass work as well, like the actual drum pattern. There's a real like excitement just to get the track started and get it set up. So let's skip forward a little bit, because last time when I did Night Terror with Dream Theater tracks, it's like you want to hear things in context, so I don't really like skipping through them, but I ended up getting a copyright claim on that, which, I mean, it's fair use, but anyway, it was like EMI, or yeah, Sony claimed it, I think it was. So yeah, anyway, it was one of those things. Not a strike, but a claim nonetheless. So I'm going to tread a bit more cautiously this time. So I guess this section, it sort of comes immediately after that intro section. It kind of serves as, I guess, something of an interlude into the verse. And there's a kind of like, there's an openness to it. It expands. There's a grandiose kind of nature to the sound. There's an epicness, you might say, which I really, really love about Dream Theater. And but this is sort of done in a way that I haven't really heard them do it before. So where Night Terror had a lot of like typical Dream Theater tropes, this sounds fresh to me. It still sounds like Dream Theater, don't get me wrong, but it sounds like fresh Dream Theater to me. Whereas Night Terror sounds like what it was, the first jam that they did getting back together, and Mike Portnoy and John Petrucci said it in their own words, that they just kind of picked up where they left off. So it actually sounds like it came off of like Black Clouds and Silver Linings. It's literally like they sat down and they were like, just basically that's what came out of them first. And then they started composing new music. That's how it sounds to my ears anyway. Let's skip ahead to the verse here.
Feel the heat intensify, steel piercing the skin, sky on fire, electrified. War inside begins, love with guilt, abandoning comrades lying still.
I really, really enjoy what LaBrie's actually doing vocally here. I've heard some chit-chat from a couple of other channels about people like not getting on with the vocals in this track or something like that. I don't really get it. I think that it really lends itself to the track. I don't have a problem with the way James LaBrie sounds on recordings. You know, live, yeah, I've heard some dodgy live stuff Some where it's better than others, let's put it that way. But there's times where definitely I think he could push for more precision live, maybe. And then obviously, like any vocalist, you know, he's going to have bad nights where he's not well, and I've said that all in another video. I'll link that in the description. You can go check that out another time to talk about James LaBrie's voice. But the overall feeling in this verse, I really like the kind of time signature movements. I think it's like a 9/8 and then into, I don't know, it sounds like something like a 10/8 or 11/8, something like that. I don't know, I kind of like missed the count there. But it's nice. It's these little like stabbing accents on the turnarounds. And I think LaBrie's voice, the vocal line and vocal melody, really, really complements that. It doesn't sound awkward, it flows, but it's the playfulness that was kind of missing from Night Terror. Night Terror is just really like a standard ahead rock metal tune. Nothing too tricky about it. Yeah, there's shredding and stuff like that. There's a bit of shreddy playing. But they don't really toy with the listener. They don't really upset the apple cart any, if that makes sense. And in this track, I find that there's much more of that, but without making it sound clunky or like you're falling down a set of stairs or something like that. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit. I gotta admit, the visualizer stuff, like the, you know, what they've got done for the quote-unquote video, visualized video, I really like this. It's sort of like World War II-ish kind of themed, nightmarish take on World War II kind of thing. I'm guessing that's where they're going with this, is a sort of like PTSD type thing. But yeah, I really like the whole look and feel of it, and I'm really into that kind of stuff from a historical point of view. I love shows like Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan and, you know, Apocalypse Now, all that kind of stuff. So this kind of thing's like right up my alley. That's very Tool-like, don't you think? Let me know in the comments. But that's like, even down to the bass tone, that sounds like something Tool would write. Like right down to the phaser. Pretty sure that's phaser pedal. But yeah, that's very Tool-like. Alright, let's get into it a little bit. That's a nice building section off of that kind of Tool-esque theme. Kind of goes more back into regular Dream Theater territory in some ways. The vocal pattern's quite nice, kind of rising thing. You know, like, the problem with James sometimes is he does this kind of thing where he kind of yells but bends his note on the way up in the yell. So he's like, like that, right? In this song. Kind of. Okay, but he does it nicely in this song, and it kind of suits the part. Whereas sometimes he has a habit of doing that live in songs where it has no place or business being there. Where, you know, where the note needs to be hit like bang on, there needs to be no ramp up. And actually that's quite a common thing. There's quite a lot of vocalists that kind of bend up to notes like that. Some more noticeably than others. But I think when he's not really like pushing himself, or maybe not hearing himself properly, there's a range of things. Anyway, I don't want to get into that, but when he does that when it's not supposed to be there, it can be really annoying. But this part is written to have that, and so I think it works in that context, and it doesn't bug me or faze me. quite like the call and response kind of vocal there with Portnoy. And again, similarly to Night Terror, it's just nice to hear Portnoy's vocals back on Dream Theater Records. It adds another dynamic. It's another instrument, basically, in the band that when he wasn't there, that's an element that we lost. So, yeah, again, always a pleasure hearing that back. All right, let's move ahead a little. Okay, this is the kind of thing I'm a big fan of, right? So we go from, I guess, what would be, you know, a cool keyboard solo, but something that sounds like something that we've got on quite a few Dream Theater records of late. And that's no offense to Jordan Rudess, it's just, it's more in the normal rock metal vein of Dream Theater, if that makes sense. And then we go into this really cool swing, kind of jazzy, swingy thing. From Petrucci, and I think it's really cool. It's got a sense of humor about it. It's maybe a little period, you know, a little bit of an acknowledgement to like kind of that World War II period, and something that maybe you'd kind of hear around nightclubs or something like that around that time. I don't know if that's intentional or I mean, sounds like the kind of thing that they would do. But yeah, I really like that. It kind of comes from nowhere, but it totally fits and works. Maybe that's not everyone's cup of tea, but for me, I like the prog side of Dream Theater more than the metal side, if that makes sense. We're splitting hairs here, but you know, like I like them to be a prog metal band, if that makes sense, rather than a metal prog band. Emphasis on prog. So for me, that kind of thing puts a smile on my face. Love how it picks up into the double time, you know. Okay, let's move towards the back end of the song here. Okay, cool. So, yeah, kind of, you know, return to the kind of main theme, really. Kind of main chorus themes and that sort of thing to take us out with a kind of build to a crescendo at the end. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, I'm definitely much more excited about the record now, having heard this. And I think they've kept their promise from their kind of interview that they did. I think it was with, you know, Coffee with Ola. You know, they talked about Night Terror and how that was written and the fact that it was the first song and that you know, it was they just sat down and jammed and that's just what came out. And then they kind of really proceeded to, you know, write the rest of the record. And I think this bodes well, because it's less. Night Terror is a little bit cookie cutter Dream Theater, cookie cutter modern Dream Theater to be specific. This is much more playful and has a lot more diversity in terms of musical elements, musicality about it. Like I said, more of the prog first sort of attitude to it, if that makes sense. It's still like prog metal, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I don't know. I found that a nice rich tapestry of enjoyable music to sink my teeth into. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more of that coming from the album. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and like I said, from me, it's a thumbs up for that one. Alright guys, take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.